I learned the voices died with me. When I was a child, I'd sit for hours.
Hey folks, Craig DeMonda here. Just wanted to give you all a quick little update into this next episode of the Walking Dead TV podcast. For episode 195, we recorded a very lengthy podcast for you. Obviously, the episode itself was an hour and a half, and with all of us chewing through it and looking at it as a season finale, it took us almost 3 hours to do the podcast. So I decided to break it up into two parts to make it easier to listen to and digest on your various podcast devices out there. So it'll be 195A and 195B for this week, and that way you have two different podcasts to listen to. Kind of broke it up directly in half. Didn't edit really at all, any of it, just of course some of the expletives that are out there. So what you hear is what we recorded in its entirety, and I really hope you guys enjoy. I look forward to joining you all again in the summertime for Fear the Walking Dead. It's been a great season. Hope you all enjoy the podcast. So here is, without further interruption, 195A. Thanks for listening. You are listening to the Walking Dead TV podcast. This is episode 195 for season 7, episode 16, the first day of the rest of your life. Hi, I'm Craig DeMonda. Join with me this evening, Mr. Aaron Newirth.
Let me tell you a little story about a host named Craig who thought he knew about but didn't know about He's actually a pretty good host.
Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate that. Also, Mr. Richard Chumtoad Sheldon.
Yo.
Daryl Taylor.
Jeez. This episode actually brought me to tears at the end.
Ooh.
It actually did, just foreshadowing. I
want to hear about that.
Yeah.
Mr. Russell Latham is back with us. Russell.
I know nothing.
Sergeant Schultz.
Yeah. And as you can hear, of course, Mr. Jim Dietz.
I told Rick never to trust a Romulan, damn it.
That's true.
It's like a Romulan, huh?
See what happens?
She was straight Romulan.
Straight up Romulan, dude. Yeah.
So this episode, the season finale, was a long one, an hour and a half. It was directed by Greg Nicotero, written by Scott M. Gimple, Angela Kang, and Matthew Negrete. Broke out all the big guns for this one. So what are your initial thoughts before we jump into it, the last of the season?
Where did all that writing go? I'm sorry. Overall, the episode was fine, but this is supposed to be a season finale, and I was like, all right, that's it. Okay, there was a lot of waiting around, and then things happened, and I'll get into what I didn't appreciate about those things that happened, but there was good stuff peppered throughout there. But yeah, I was pretty meh on it.
It was a little uneven, but I will say, there's a point at the end where I'm like, this could be the greatest episode of television I've ever seen in my entire life.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious to hear what that is.
It could have been. It definitely could have been. But unfortunately, it was not. Now, there are a lot of good moments in this episode, and there are some good things that happen towards the end, or good scenes. But this, you spent 16 episodes building up this whole thing. Definitely the back half of it for All Out War. You know, this is what we've been looking forward to, and we get pretty much everything goes wrong in a somewhat small skirmish that kind of goes awry. I don't know. They missed an opportunity. This episode should have been all out, balls out war from the minute it opened to the minute it closed. There should have been a hell of a lot more going on than what we got. And yeah, I enjoyed it. It was not a bad episode, but it sure did not live up to what I wanted after 16 weeks of build-up.
And when you say build up, it's like you hear the producers and the actors talking about, oh, it's amazing, it's the best television I ever did. And
all of us are crying, the audience was crying.
Right, my voice was shot, even though Angelique was saying my voice was done after this episode. I don't know why, but I guess
it was crying.
Yeah.
I also feel that they felt us as the audience give way more of a about Sasha than we really do.
We'll get to that.
Well, can someone else talk before your negative stuff? Damn, I can get a chance? Come on, man.
I see some mixed opinions here, which is good. That's what makes the show good. We're not all thinking the same way about this episode, so it's going to be interesting.
It did have some unevenness to it, and there were things that were predictable because we even called it like 2 or 3 episodes ago. So there were a lot of that, and it didn't have a big splash payoff at the end of this. But part of me thought that all we were going to get was a set-off of war. I almost thought when he said we're going to war pretty much at the end, I almost thought, knowing this show the way I do, I figured they would do that. Like, that would be what we would get. It wouldn't be a big thing. But it had so many emotional moments that it just made me reflect on the show as a whole. And I just enjoyed it. Like, it made me feel good. There were scenes that just made me feel really good about the show. Even though I know it wasn't the best episode, it wasn't the best written episode, but there were so many scenes where I just found myself just thinking about all the stuff that I do like about the show and why I do stick with the show. And I just felt good by the end. Like, it did. I didn't feel disappointed. I didn't feel angry like I did last season. And I stayed away from the interviews and I stayed away from the Talking Dead because they overdo everything. Everything is an emotional thing with them when they talk about the shows. I just watched it twice. You know, I watched the episode twice, sat down and just let myself just enjoy that episode, just enjoy it for what it was. And I did miss Glenn. Like, I don't know what it was.
That last speech got to you, man. She pulled the heartstrings there, huh?
That was good.
I didn't feel that loss of Glenn. Like, I just expected Glenn to die. There was a part of me that thought they're going to kill off Glenn. And I was so caught up in feeling that I just didn't feel the death. And I swear to you, all of a sudden, when Maggie's talking, when she's talking, and the music, I thought that they picked the soundtrack, the music for this entire episode, I thought was great.
Yeah, it was like John Carpenter.
Yes.
Very 80s synthy, like what they call dark wave now, I guess.
Yeah. He mixes it up. He goes in different genres. He can do the violins and the strings. He can also do the heavy synth. And yeah, he definitely did that a lot.
Played my heart. Like, he played my emotions. Like, I really thought like the scenes of them coming back together just made me feel like I just felt good about the show, and I just couldn't wait for it to come back. Like, I just had that feeling of, we can do this. Like, there were parts where I thought, there's no way they're going to get out of this. This is it. Like, you might as well just throw your hands up. Like, I had to turn it off for a minute. And I'm usually not emotional about shows. Like, if it gets really dark, I can usually take it. It's not a big deal. But when it got to a certain point, I really had to stop the show.
Wow.
I wish I felt that.
Because it had that, to me, it just had that piling on thing. And I was like, I can't take it if this is going to be another thing of them just getting trapped and shot. You know, like people getting shot randomly and they're left like that. Like, they're just weakened. But I just loved how it happened. And Ezekiel, man.
He's a man. Come on.
He made me want to get up and get a gun and run around with them too.
Join his legion.
And like, he made me excited. Like, I was excited. Like, I felt like all that Kingdom crap that I laugh at, that you laugh at, it's funny in previous episodes. I don't give a damn. That mattered when he started shouting with the sword and
that was awesome.
Around.
That part
was freaking incredible.
Talk about the music. They played this Renaissance kind of their little theme. The Kingdom theme came in when they came to save the day. We'll get to it back there. But
is that a little Evan
I just wonder, was Bear McCreary watching Stranger Things before he scored this episode?
Right. Good. He was good. That's a great show, and I love the soundtrack on that one too. So yeah, that's fine.
One of my favorite lines was when Negan said, "What is that? Is that I'm tasting?"
Yeah, that's right.
Like him getting up. It was the first time that Negan looked tired.
Yeah.
He looked tired and disheveled and scared for the first time. Like, and I like that look. Like when Rick looked at him and he was like, "I'm gonna kill your son," and thought that would break him.
Right.
When he said, "Oh no, kill him here, kill him in front of me." I'm sorry. Listen, just the facial expression did it for. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I quoted that whole line that Rick said at the end. We'll get to that when we get there. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty
It
powerful stuff.
was a nice juxtaposition because the last time they were in that position, Rick was crying and begging, like, "Don't do, like, please don't do this. I'll do whatever." Like, and for him to just come full circle and be like, "I don't care if you're gonna bash my kid's head in, you're gonna do it." Like, but it's not gonna stop me. You know, I'm gonna kill you regardless. And at that point,
basically, he's like, "Negan, this is what you wanted. This is what you wanted. So you got it. You got crazy Rick. I don't care anymore."
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Exactly. That's exactly what it's saying. Like, my girl just died. I think she just fell off the building. She's dead, and my son. But I don't care. Do what you're gonna do. I'm gonna kill you. Take my hands. I'm still gonna kill you. Like, that's some crazy stuff right there. The way he was looking at Negan, and he still loved it. Negan loved it.
Oh yeah,
he loved it. He ate it up. Like, that was like it was like Negan finally was like, "Yes, a challenge." Like somebody's actually like giving me some kind of challenge. It was like he enjoyed it.
I really wish those 2 minutes matched the other 90 in this episode.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Aaron on this. It was a really mixed bag. There were some really like, oh yeah, moments in it. You know, definitely. First of all, somebody needs to get me a Carol Inner Kingdom armor action figure.
Next year from McFarlane, they'll be coming out.
Yeah, like there at Kingdom Armor,
Yes.
sitting on my shelf. Immediately, please.
Guns up.
Todd McFarlane, please. And with the bloody pointed stick for the Morgan.
Yeah, the blood dripping from it or something. It'll be so whacked.
You have an interchangeable stick for different phases of Morgan for that, actually.
But I'm kind of in agreement, like, for as many, like, oh yeah, moments that there were in this, there were just as many moments of, like, okay, why is this here? This is like, it just was like, the good outweighed the bad for me, but not by a whole lot, is what I'm saying. I probably liked it, but not as much as Daryl did.
I wouldn't even argue, and it's to the point with me that you are on. In my mind, I'm like, you're absolutely right. I will not even argue with you on that. It's not something like I could debate you on it. But for whatever reason, this show touched all the things it needed to touch with me that I really just didn't care. Like, I knew all the shortcomings that you said. It ran through my brain.
It's totally cool.
But it just, for whatever reason, hit at that moment where I just sat there. I watched it in the morning, and then I watched it again when I got home from work. And it just left me feeling, the same parts left me feeling the same way. And that's not a usual thing, you know, with the show. Like, you think about it and things weren't as great as you remembered, right? But I don't know, whatever it was, I just love seeing Maggie. Like, first, I fell in love with Maggie now. Like, I was already in love with Carol, but I fell in love with Maggie.
Because she was in leadership at that point, you saw her stepping up, and then
there was just an emotional point with her that she just leveled up in my eyes, I think.
Yeah.
Just the way she talked to the people around her, just the way that she took command, just the way she took charge, and then just the way that she had just a peaceful look on her face. There's like I could accept whatever's going to happen, either if it's the worst thing in the world, we get wiped out, I can accept it because I'm not going to sit back and be a victim. I don't know if it's because of what Negan did last week that made me hate him so much to the point where to see them come out at him like that and to see Maggie, to see them rise up against Negan, it is playing on the heartstrings. It's like, listen, they played it, and I usually don't like when they do that too much on the show, but it's just the way she did it and the way that she talked about we are connected. You know, like we are family. Like, just the way she talked about them, it's almost like she was sitting back and thinking about the show herself and just thinking about how, you know, everything that's gone through with the show. And it just worked for me on every level. And I couldn't tell you why. I don't know why, but it just did.
See, that was the contrast for me. The Maggie stuff at the end worked. The Sasha stuff in the beginning and the middle totally did not work.
That's the week. Correct.
I really,
yes.
From the pre-credit, you know, where you see her in, obviously you don't know what's going on, but they kind of gave it away, right? Because she fades out. I was like, okay, she took the pill. But just the weird, like, conversation with Abraham, and then the weird thing with her and Maggie sitting watching the sunset. It was just like, it was very disjointed. It was like when they made a 90-minute finale, like, it could have been a really tight 60 minutes if they would have taken most of that Sasha stuff out. And I mean, I get part of it because they wanted to give her a big send off,
right?
Which, doing what they did, made it even more obvious that she was going to die. Like, it was so telegraphed. The way
they do it too much.
Yeah,
because someone dies, they do it too
exactly.
much.
They do it in the show all the time. So to me, it was way heavy-handed, and it just really jacked with the pacing of the episode.
What didn't help was that because I mean, within the context of this episode, I agree. I don't think it works very well, but I like the idea. Like, I thought having a kind of disjointed look at Sasha's state of mind, essentially, that's a really cool idea for how to structure an episode. That said, it's not fitting here where I want to get on the move here. I want to get out of this war. I don't have time to be like, let me watch an entire sequence with the 7th most important character on The Walking Dead. When it's like all this other stuff's happening right now. It seems way more important than what she's doing inside of a coffin. Like, that's not interesting.
It was weird because when they had the first flashback scene with her and Abraham, I was like, okay, well, that was nice. They just had the one little thing to kind of kind of memorialize her. Then they had like the second scene with her and
third,
Abraham.
yeah,
And then I'm like, no, okay, come on, there's too much going on for you to digress like that.
Well,
I
didn't
like it for a different reason. I didn't like it because Sasha didn't have to be there.
Right.
There
The
was
whole
no
thing-
reason, there was no reason for her to be in that position. If they had wrote her story as maybe she just got captured. You know, like
she
she
would
was
say,
fighting.
yeah, she's back at my prison. All I have to do, Rick, is hit this button. I'll tell this guy to kill her. Like, you know, she didn't have to be at that place at that moment.
Not even give her the whole runaround of like, I'm going to put you on my crew. And we're going to debate who's going to die. It's just like, just knock her out, put her in a coffin, and done. Like, why are you like? Have your,
And I just hated the
I have
whole
no
thing
idea
of-
what the plan was. Like,
I
what was
just
the plan?
Right.
Well, he said
And
it,
the whole
yeah.
thing of it being that whole suicide mission didn't have to happen. Like, that was just the dumbest thing in the world. Like, you couldn't. It just told me. So I know the actress got a job on a show, and you're thinking of a way to get rid of her. And I thought you didn't. I think they didn't think it through because that whole thing of it just didn't add anything to the episode to have her do the stupid suicide mission and to make her feel I have to do this. I have to go there by myself, knowing you will get captured. And then when she does get captured, she even says that they're going to use me, Eugene. Yeah, dummy, they are going to use you as a hostage. You didn't know that before you went there. Like that was the gimme to that of you getting captured. Anybody gets captured, he's going to use them against Rick and the group. That's just what Negan does. He does that kind of terrorism, that kind of, especially with people that he think are probably, people that are liked by the group. So I'm like, that whole thing still bothers me. Like, that if they didn't do it that way, and if it had been something where she was with the group and they were on a mission and then they got captured, I'd feel bad for her, and then I'd follow that story, and then I'd have some type of emotional feeling about that character. But I really didn't have any emotional feeling for it because I just felt like her and Rosita were just selfish because they couldn't wait, they were impatient, and because of it, you caused a hiccup in this thing that didn't need to happen, even though it was full of hiccups. But you caused an extra hiccup, even though you kind of helped them give them a diversion when they needed it. But still, you caused the problem that didn't need to happen.
Yeah.
We should get into the episode.
Yeah, so it's great. It's let's jump right into it, though. So we see at the cold open, it's a kind of a dark scene, and we hear music playing. It's Donny Hathaway, is the artist there. Someday We'll All Be Free is the song.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of time jumping going on with these Sasha in the coffin scenes, and we don't really know where she is at first. But after watching this a couple times, and obviously now we talked about it too a little bit, the first one, the cold open, is really the last one. We see like she's basically dying at this point. She's really sweaty. Like at this one, you notice like the sweat level changes on each of the different scenes. So she's in a dark place. She got the earbuds in. She kind of pulls them out of her ear, and then suddenly her eyes close, and then that's pretty much the cold open. I think that's the end. Like that's the end of Sasha right there.
Yeah.
So they do these really wacky kind of time jumps, but it didn't really click with me that was her end until the second rewatch. Like, okay, yeah, she's definitely this is the end of her now. This is
They even edited it weird because it was
Right.
such a short cut. Like
Right.
it was an awkward cut. The way
It's a setup. It's a setup for what you're going to keep seeing. But yeah, that first one that you see is her last minutes. Like that's it.
Right.
The rest of it follows in order.
Right.
It's still
It's awkward.
Yeah, we've seen that before. I guess I've done that before. You see the beginning before the end, the passage
Yeah.
prologue and all that. Yeah.
Okay.
So after the credits, same overhead shot of Sasha, but this time this is the beginning of the coffin ride. She's a bit less sweaty. The earbuds are still in, and she mutters, "Hey, darling, wake up!" And then suddenly it's a flashback back to Alexandria. She's inside her house. It's daytime, but she's sleeping on the sofa, and Abraham is the one saying the line, "Hey, darling." darling, wake up. And so she wakes up, she leans in, gives him a passionate long kiss, and something we didn't see much of really when it was happening. We didn't see them kind of living together and together. We knew they were together, but we didn't really see much of it when it happened. We just saw him leaving Rosita. We didn't really see them kind of shacking up too much. So it's interesting to see this perspective. And Abraham,
they need that because, which still doesn't work, because we don't know anything about this relationship beyond the fact that that was a relationship. That's it. That's the full extent of that relationship.
Before this,
together.
right. Yeah. So Abraham explains that they have to get Maggie to the hilltop. So now we kind of know where they are from a time perspective. That it's really right before they go on their journey, really with Destiny there to meet Negan and meet Lucille for the first time. But he explains that they have to get Maggie to the hilltop. There's something wrong with the baby, and that he'll go, but she can stay behind. And Sasha says, "Don't go." We then flash forward, and we're now, I guess, in the present, so to speak. We're in Sasha's jail cell at the sanctuary. The door creaks open, and it's none other than Negan, bringing her a nice breakfast, proclaiming that today is the first day of the rest of your life. Hence the title of the episode. He leans in and explains how much he respects her. He says she's dignified, she's hot as hell, and she's no fool. He says that he does not want to see her die, and nobody really does. But someone does have to die and pay for what Rick's been doing ultimately. Perhaps a few somebodies, he implies. And then says, tuck in, it's a big day. He lifts the lid on the plate, and we see it's like a pancake or two with a smiley face of blueberries right on the top of it. There's like some fruit and some scrambled eggs, some other stuff on there. And Sasha simply asks, what do you need from me? So we flash even farther backward now, and we see Sasha and Maggie admiring the sunset. Now, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Is that the episode where they first met Jesus?
I guess.
Right? She's still wearing Bob's shirt.
It could be.
That's yeah. It's around that time.
Right? Remember, Jesus popped in. I thought they were watching the sunset. And he goes, "Hey, I'm okay." And he goes, "Not Jesus. I mean Aaron. Not Jesus. Aaron."
Aaron.
That's what I thought.
I meant Aaron. Excuse me.
I heard you. Okay.
Yeah, Aaron. When Aaron pops in from the Alexandria and kind of introduces himself, is that okay? I thought it was that scene, but that goes pretty far back. I mean, you go back a couple seasons now too.
Well, I'm also trying to think of like any significant times where Sasha and Maggie were together. Like that's the only like really because that episode really relied on those two being kind of together before Aaron jumped in.
Yeah. So I guess that's what it was. But it was really more just to show them just admiring the beauty of the sunset, I guess. And
Simpler times.
Simple. Okay.
Even though those simpler times where their RV was gone, they had pretty much nothing, and Aaron came and saved all of them. But simpler times.
Right. Yeah. After Terminus. Then quick flash to the present. Daryl and gang are still in the cell with Dwight, kind of exactly where we left off last week. Dwight is looking at Daryl, but Rick is pointing the gun to Dwight's forehead and says, "Look at me."
Look at me.
No.
I can't help but think that when he says it.
Look at me.
Yeah.
Swear to me.
I think you guys have done the joke. Sorry, I haven't listened. That dude is a dead ringer for Christian Bale.
Oh, not really.
No,
we didn't even do that.
Who is?
Dwight dude is a dead ringer for Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Blonde hair, throw me off a little bit, maybe. Yeah.
Like his facial structure and everything. Yeah,
Like a country pride version of him.
yeah.
I don't see that.
Let's see what
The first time I saw that guy, I was like, man, he's like a dead ringer for Christian Bale.
That's funny. I didn't catch that. Well, yeah, probably something there. So Rick asks why again to Dwight, implying why do you want to help us? And Dwight simply says that he wants it stopped. He wants Negan dead. And Rick asks, so why didn't you kill him? And Dwight replies, because it won't be simple. All the people around him, they're all Negan. So he's implying he's got an army around him. Tara then says, she tells Dwight that the girl that he murdered was her girlfriend, a good person, a doctor that cared for people. And Dwight replied, hey, I wasn't aiming for her. And he even said that back then when he killed her. He goes, the aim of this thing is tough. He used Daryl's crossbow. He's still getting the hang of it.
That's when Derek gets pissed off.
Oh, he snaps at this point. He couldn't hold back any longer. He takes out his blade and pushes Dwight against the wall, and he holds the blade like 1 inch from his eyeball. And Tara tries to push him over the edge, saying, "Yeah, do it. Do it." Dwight now talking to Daryl, looking him dead in the face, says, I know you want to end it this way. Go ahead. I know you want to, but I'm sorry. I really am. So again, he's trying to tell Daryl he's sorry for what he did to him, essentially.
Right.
Rick chimes in, suggesting that he's just a plant for Negan, seeing if Daryl's actually in town or not. That's what he could be doing there. Dwight denies it, saying that it isn't true. He's really out here on his own. And then recalls how his wife got away, and now he's here. And he says Daryl's here because of her too. Again, so Daryl understands what he's talking about there, that his wife helped him escape from the cells. He says, you knew me then, you know me now, I'm not lying. So he's trying to get through to Daryl. I guess he's trying to play on that thing where they're kind of the opposite, but they're kind of the same. Like it's just some kind of weird connection between the two of those guys. I don't know. He's playing on that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The stuff that's not Sasha that's happening before things get more intense. I just never felt much tension between. Like I know that Dwight's not going to die in this opening scene here. I know nothing like none of this ever like felt threatening. He's like, all right, we have to go through all these motions to go to this war because the episode wants me to know there's going to be a war happening. Like that's how it's been set up even before it started. So I'm just sitting there waiting. So it's like I got to look at. Now we got to go through the whole rigmarole of Dwight convincing everybody, which is fine. But when you have like Tara off screen going, kill him,
I noticed. I kind of like it. And it was kind of off because they didn't establish this yet. But I have a feeling next season is going to be a lot of symmetry between him and Dwight and Daryl, like their situations. I can see that they're going to have an odd connection, and I don't. And it feels like the show was trying to tell us that.
Well, I think the show's been trying to tell us that even this season. Like
it was so little. Like it was so.
It's so. But it really like that. Was it the third episode or whatever?
The whole thing where he chases his wife, you mean, and he goes out
well,
of there?
That one, but even the first half of the season where like with the dog.
Oh, Easy Street. Okay, yeah,
that's right. Easy. I'm sure it's not called Easy Street. Like it feels like the show's really riding us. It's really riding us to get this connection between those two. I've never felt it really be like.
Me either.
Even going back to last season with the whole. It seems like that episode of where we first met Dwight and he stole the motorcycle. It seems like we're supposed to ride a lot on that episode as far as the beginning of this like weird friendship or really association between the two.
Yeah.
I've just never felt that strongly about it. And it's so it just kind of keeps going here.
It's missing an episode of just those two characters having to deal with each other or fight or work together or something. Like there's like it almost feels like I missed it. I almost feel
I'm
like I
betting
missed
we'll
an
get that
episode.
at the beginning of next season somewhere.
It'll have to give us that.
It'll have to because they haven't shown us the connection of like why would you say you know like that whole thing of you know me.
He says you knew me then and you know me now.
Exactly.
So that the then was what, back in the woods 2 seasons ago, and then you know me now is okay, right? I don't know.
Like if he had a brother, like I would think, like if Dwight had some type of thing where his family put him into a situation that he didn't want to be in and turned him into this thing that he didn't want to be, and he discussed it like somehow him and Daryl, it came out between them that happened because Daryl basically, we believe his brother kind of put him into, his brother and his father or whatever kind of put him into a situation and made him do some things that he didn't really want to do, and that wasn't the kind of person he really wanted to be. But we never really got that, so it's like why would they know each other like that?
This is the problem when you have too many characters on a show. It's just one of the many things that gets lost in the translation. We're trying to set up very intricate relationships between so many specific people where it's like, well, this one doesn't register because we spent so much time elsewhere and we lost track of this.
So he goes on to say that they have another choice besides killing him. He's kind of not pleading, but he's just saying, look guys, you can kill me or there's another choice here. He says he knows Negan trusts him, they can work together, meaning Dwight with Rick's group, they can work together to stop him, Negan that is, and destroy each outpost he has one by one. Rosita then catches everyone up saying, oh, by the way guys, the Saviors have Sasha if she isn't dead already, just let you know guys. So Dwight continues, says that Negan will be coming soon, very soon, probably 3 trucks, probably about 20 men or so. He offers to slow them down, says look, I know the route, I can bring down some trees, and if Rick's group can then take the opportunity to basically take out that group of 20 including Negan, it'll be a good start. Then they can take the trucks back to the sanctuary, load it up with Rick's people, take down the sanctuary, and Rick just says, all right, keep talking. He likes
What's interesting to me is I thought Rick and them had heard the term sanctuary before this.
Yeah, sure, because Rick did say, what do you mean? What's sanctuary?
I think it's more because we're so used to sanctuary.
Yeah, probably.
Because the only person that ever heard sanctuary is probably Dwight, if anybody. Or sorry,
Daryl. So then we cut really to the gates. They just let Dwight go. It looks like they gave him a truck and just let him drive off on his own. It's kind of the way it looks.
Yeah.
And then Rick and Daryl just standing back watching him drive out. And Rick says, well, that's it. It's begun. And Daryl says that if Dwight's lying, he's going to kill him real slow. And even if he is sorry, he's still going to kill him. And Rick adds, if he's lying, this is already over.
Because remember, guys, violence is the solution to everything.
Oh, absolutely.
So after the commercial, we get back to Sasha. Again, we see the same shot, the overhead shot in the dark. There's a subtle light coming from underneath her a little bit. And she now mutters, oh, I got to go. And then we flash back again to the same scene with, in her home with Abraham picks up where it left off. And Abraham was again the one that said that line, oh, I got to go. And Sasha reveals to him that she just had a dream where he died. So we cut back to the present, and we're again in her cell, and Negan is still there leaning over her. But there was a little time jump here, too, because it's like he basically just got done outlining his plan to her. We didn't hear that, but he says that's the plan. Like, okay, I just explained the plan to you. You didn't hear it on the camera, but okay, here we are again. That's the plan.
I wish we would have, though, because I still don't understand what exactly his plan was.
and he reiterates that she will just remain silent, and that he will present her to, I guess, her friends. And that will be the thing that will make them stand down if they haven't already.
It makes no sense. This plan.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm with you. This plan is fishy as all get out.
Do you guys think at this point, okay, if Sasha was still alive, that would have been enough to make them stand down? Because I think
he already had them. He had all of them already.
Yeah, he had them. I just thought he wanted to do more torture.
I think because the way he revered Sasha, I think he felt that maybe Rick's group revered her as well. Like he said it multiple times that you don't mess with her. She's pretty. She's smart. Like just seeing her with the possibility of her getting killed would make Rick maybe possibly stand down. Look, he did before when they killed 2 of his people. So maybe Negan felt that this, threatening Sasha would be enough to get him to move.
He wasn't going to threaten her though. Like he was going to basically bring her out and just say like, "Hey Sasha, look at this," and like just show that she's like on his side or something. Like it's the weirdest plan because at that point, all the junkyard folk they've already turned. So it's like he literally has the town hostage already. What else is he accomplishing by like bringing out Sasha as if it's some kind of threat? Like I don't understand.
Yeah, that was the weird part, right? That was the weird part of it, I guess.
I guess maybe if it worked that way, he wouldn't have had to show his hand. Like he would still have that card in his back pocket, but.
It's like what card?
Yeah, but
like it's a weird ace.
No, yeah,
so many things that happen that just I don't know.
I mean, with him having the garbage people, it made 0 sense. The whole Sasha thing.
Every time you say garbage people, I think of was it Waiting for Guffman? Yeah. You're garbage people.
Well, I feel betrayed because I grew up learning that garbage people were nice. You had Oscar the Grouch who taught you lessons. You had Sanford and Son, but not these people. No.
just for all the listeners, just to make sure you all have this on your checklist. Chub Toad has named Oscar the Grouch and Sanford and Son as garbage people you can trust in life.
Exactly.
Wow.
So then Lucille will get her 3, Negan says, once he's presented her, and the town stands down, then Lucille will get her blood, and they can move on with a new understanding. Sasha then starts to cry, and Negan says, "Are you shitting me? Is that real?" Like he's almost disappointed that she's crying a little bit. He likes thinking of her as more of a badass, I guess. And Sasha says that no one has to die, and Negan disagrees, saying that look, they need punishment. Punishment is how they built everything we have. We built everything we have. Sasha then tries to get a little tough, saying, "You think I'm going to sit here and let you?" And Negan cuts her off and says, "Careful! Whoa, you're not letting me do anything." He shuts it down real quick when she starts to take that position.
Yeah.
And Sasha repeats herself again. No one has to die. Negan says, "Okay, all right. How about just 1? I was going to pull 3 out of the pool," he says, "but I'll do just 1, just for you." And Negan chuckles as he gets up and says, "You've got me wrapped around your finger. You know that?" And it's not a man-woman thing. He says, "If you had a dick, I'd still have these feelings."
That was funny.
Yeah.
He's got this respect for her. And it's amazing. She just came to kill him 24 hours ago on a suicide mission to kill this guy.
Yeah.
And he's in love with her. Like he's absolutely in love with her. Not like he said a sexual type of, well, maybe a little bit, but it's more of he respects the hell out of this woman.
Well, he lives in a so-called sanctuary surrounded by people that are just scared to death of him. Like,
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
so I think that he's sadistic. Like there's that his sadistic side is I want you to fight. It's not enough for me to slaughter a sheep, for example, that doesn't bite, doesn't fight back, doesn't do anything. He wants to fight. He wants to kill a tiger. He wants to kill a wolf. He wants something like he wants to kill another predator. So I think that's why he gets so attracted to like Daryl and Rick. Well,
Even Carl. Remember Carl showed up. He goes, "You are gorgeous, right?"
Carl and then Sasha. Like I think that's the thing with him because he is such a like he is sick and he is sadistic, but he tells himself that like I'm not the evil person here. Like he just has a way of his own little psyche of telling himself that this is what he's doing is best for the group. I have to break these people. It's the only way.
There's 2 flaws. One is that we know Sasha's going to die no matter what, none of this matters. And the other is that like, do any of us care this much about Sasha? Like she's been around since season 3. I mean, she's been around for a while. That's fine. But this is an episode. I mean, like Lori didn't get this much work before she died unexpectedly.
It still is a fault of the show that when they kill people when they kill off characters that are not very important to the show, they seem to do this fake thing of making them appear to be the most important person ever,
which is not helping here. We're just dragging the show down. Where it's like
it's a problem. It's a problem that the show has, especially with they somehow just can't get it together. And on a show that part of the allure of the show is to see who gets killed. I mean, that is part of it. People don't want to admit it a lot of times, but part of it is we do want to see who survives and who doesn't. So
But Sasha never really landed with me much ever.
But, I would argue that she hasn't necessarily landed with everybody, but I would say perhaps Sonequa Martin Green as an actress on like Talking Dead and whatnot, that worked for people. But as far as the character on the show goes, I'd be very surprised to see if we're still in a world where fan mail exists, how big that pile is versus the pile for other characters. Like I mean, there's a lot of effort being put into showing us that Sasha's really important. We have 3 episodes of this, right? It's 3 episodes
Pretty much
of Sasha's death, like
2.5 at the very least. I mean, yeah.
So it's like how much like.
Yeah, they don't care about her. They don't really care about not her as a person, but I mean they don't really care about that character because every time she gets hit with a tragedy, they always write her as just leaving.
Maybe she was in the woods shooting pictures or something. Remember that? She's taking photos and stuff.
She just lied down in a grave at one point.
Yeah, that's weird. Right.
That's what I'm saying. Every time there's been something where her character can go through some type of growth, the easy writer response is just to write her as just withdrawing from the group into herself, and then we get episodes with Carol, or we get episodes with other characters that they do kind of feel more excited about writing.
She was bitchy when they came to Alexandria too. Remember that? She was like with Deanna. She's at the party. She broke down. Don't stop talking to me. Leave me alone.
They gave her nothing to do, except just be
they gave nothing to back it up because it's there. But it's like I don't think it's not a fault of Green. Like she's doing
it's not her,
but it's like
the
writers just seem to half-ass it. They're like, all right, we'll make Sasha be this way, but they don't fill in the rest of that blank. They just let that sit there. And so that's the character I have to go with for the whenever she's involved in something. It's just all right. She's going to get very upset and withdrawn, and that's all I have to go on. Where other characters are allowed, Carol, what have you, they're given so much more nuance to play with, or what have you. So it's just like what I just don't. So now you get this, this epic send-off for a supposedly major character that I just have no regard for beyond like I don't, I like you well enough. I don't want you to die because of this asshole over here, but at the same time, I don't know why I'm supposed to care this much on a TV show about you specifically. Like it's off-putting for an episode that should be moving.
Yeah. So we flash back to the Maggie Sasha sunset again, and that's it. You just see them sitting there. There's no dialogue this time. They're just sitting there looking at the sunset. We then flash forward to the present. Maggie, Enid, and Jesus are strategizing as to what to do next. And apparently, this is after Gregory has gone to be with the Saviors. Rick's group is in danger. They need to take action soon. Maggie knows that they're going to need help. And we see little Judith is now at the hilltops. I guess they left her there for safety, I'm assuming.
I was like, what baby is that? I forgot. I wrote baby question mark on my notes.
Maggie's babysitting. That's it.
She's not a perfectly good white baby. What's going on with that?
So and then she's on the floor making noise. Enid then scoops her up and then tells Maggie, "Here, take this. You're going to need it," and gives back Herschel's watch, which again Maggie kind of bequeaths to Enid a little bit, but I think she gave it to her saying, "Here, you're going to need this more than I need it." And I guess that may have started this kind of memory lane of Glenn. Obviously, she's been thinking about Glenn, but the whole watch connection to Glenn is there too. So maybe that started that. Maybe that planted that seed a little bit.
Yeah, they also tie that up at the end where she's doing her speech where she has to watch in her hand.
Right. Yep. So something like that.
We see.
That's good. That's called good thematic symbolism.
Time keeps on ticking, guys.
You know, then.
On the road outside of the kingdom, Carol is leading a brigade on foot. They're fully armed. They got their armor on, and Jerry is carrying this Renaissance-style flag representing the kingdom, which is amazing.
The Banner Man.
Banner, yeah.
Jerry.
It's got tassels on it. Like, it's perfect.
In the Banner Man.
All they were missing was like a gesture. He's like prancing down the street.
Drum line.
The king is court.
I see Jon Snow going the other way. Hey,
So when they're blocked by those darn shopping carts again, and this gets them spooked, as the guy who did this the first time, Richard, is now dead and incidentally not buried too far away. And suddenly Morgan appears from behind some vehicles, and we see his staff is now sharpened to a spear, which we saw him doing a few episodes ago, and there's blood at the other end of that, at the spear end. And Jerry says to him, "Dude, are you okay?" And Morgan doesn't respond, but Carol walks over and asks him if he's trying to ambush the Saviors on his own, and he replies, "Yeah." And Carol says that going alone is not going to work. Morgan says, well, it works for him. She asks if he killed any of them because that could jeopardize their plans if they know it was them, the kingdom's involved. Morgan says, no, it was just walkers that he killed, or I guess cleared in his mind.
well, it's funny you use that word because it's the same setup he had in that little town in Clear.
He has little traps and
traps and ambushes. Like he's kind of gone back, like we mentioned in an earlier episode. He might have gone back to that mentality a little bit, the savagery after Sebastian died.
He got the crazy eye.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like a happy medium between super insane and fairly competent.
But I thought that was. I mean, you mentioned it was a callback to Richard's plan, or whatever. I saw it as a callback to Clear.
That's what I thought about it. So
It's like in his nesting mode where he's waiting in ambush, just like he was in that.
because he feels safe in that mode. I think
Yes,
that's
exactly.
a safe mode to be in that way.
Well, he admitted though he was trying to ambush the Saviors. I mean, she asked him point blank, and he said, yeah. So I guess, he didn't set these elaborate traps. I know if he killed a few walkers along the way, it's fine. Like, he cleared them. But I think in his mind, he wants revenge. I think that's what it seems like.
Well,
Right?
because then they counter him. It's like, well, what if they came, they died, and then like we get punished because of that?
Right, that's what Carol basically was saying. Yeah, exactly. So King Ezekiel steps in.
I was going to say, I'm sorry.
No, go.
I keep saying about high points and low points in this episode. The high points are really high for me. These scenes with Morgan and Ezekiel and Carol were one of the high points for me.
Yes,
Again,
agreed,
seeing actors of that caliber work off each other like that little speech that Ezekiel, I think you're about to go into now,
Yes.
that Ezekiel gives to Morgan, like to get him like a little Braveheart speech to get him pumped up and back with the team. That was really. I mean, that whole scene was like gold to me. I thought that was like one of the best scenes in the episode. I mean,
that
actor, everything. That's just really, again, one of the high points of the scene of the episode. That was very uneven, but very good scene. Very
The
good.
actor's great, and the thing that like he made me forget that I thought he was crazy.
Yeah.
He did. I
No
feel
doubt.
like he totally made me just all of that crazy kingdom talk.
It's where the writing shines because
Yeah.
for one thing, it's not focused on people dying. Like there's no scenario where Carol, Morgan, or Ezekiel are about to die all of a sudden, so you don't have to worry about tension. It's all about character driven conversation.
It
It's
is.
about where they're morally concerned with right now, what their goal is as far as doing things elsewhere. It's not concerned with we're holding each other at gunpoint and one of us is going to die. Maybe it's just about these people relating to each other on a different level, and
And,
that's
how they're all at different points on the moral spectrum.
Exactly.
And Morgan's gone from non-killing to murdering, and Carol went all the way into murdering, was trying to work her way back to not killing. And then here's it was just the dynamic, as you say, Aaron, the dynamic of the characters made that scene compelling more than any action sequence or choreography later on.
And Ezekiel early on when we meet him, when he was talking candid, and he was saying that how the group is kind of like comforted by his, like they almost need him to play that part, even though they know he's not a king.
Well, right. Yeah,
I felt that, like, for the first time, I actually felt that comfort because when he's yelling all these platitudes, I'm like, well, we can make, like, I almost felt like, well, maybe it's going to be all right. Like, I did feel what the characters felt, and then I'd have to give it to this actor, man, because for him to do that,
Carrie Payton.
Yes.
he is so, like, for him to be able to do that, and he said he channeled his grandfather or something when they interviewed him on
Talking Dead. Yeah, he's talking about that a little bit. Yeah.
And
He was a surprise guest. He was a
Earlier on, he was on twice. I think. Yeah.
The first time he came on, like he was talking about this part when he first introduced him, and he said he kind of brought that in. It's just a soulfulness to it. Like it just when he plays that part and how he talks to people, it's just like another actor could say this, could do the king thing, and the speech is all great and all that. But if it's not written well, you're just giving, you're just saying, you're just speechifying, right? It doesn't really matter.
Oh, you're Negan? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. But with Ezekiel, it's almost like he's putting a comforting arm around you, saying we can do this. Like he's almost picking you up, even if you're scared, because I'd be scared out of my mind in this situation. It's almost like it's gonna be all right. We can do this. Like we are powerful. It's like he was saying it, and like even Carol stopped rolling her eyes. Like she did not one time did she give him that look of like you're full of crap. Like she embraced it, and it was just like that trio, like the way they walked together. Even Morgan trying to be like, like I need to do this on my own, and he had that stance. He kind of relented with him too. Like when he said what he said to him, it did affect him because he kind of like gave into it. He was kind of like, okay, like I am a part of the group. Like I am going to do this.
Yeah, so I quoted actually a lot of it. He said, King Ezekiel confronts Morgan and asks the question, do you seek to extinguish everything you once were? And Morgan responds, I don't seek it, but I'm stuck. The king asks if he wants, Morgan, does he want the Saviors dead? And Morgan replies, of course I do. King then tells Morgan to cease this folly and accompany his regiment. The Saviors are a dragon with many heads, with numbers legion. We must seek allies in this endeavor. He then notices that Morgan is wearing Benjamin's body armor and asks if he wears it in his honor or just wears it to protect himself. Didn't really get an answer from Morgan, but the king says strongly, you are not stuck. Join my regiment, fight with us, so no one has to suffer under the capricious malevolence of the Saviors ever again. And Morgan simply nods, and the king leads the group on the way. Like, and my thought through all this is like, if anyone could shake Morgan out of this, it's got to be the king. Like, Carol wasn't going to do it, obviously. Jerry definitely wasn't doing it, right? But like the king steps in, like you said.
If I didn't have a bad knee, I would have went with him too. But just, it's a bad knee. I can't do that. But
Took an arrow to the knee, huh?
Yeah. But I wanted to. I wanted to go right up there with him.
Let's not undersell Jerry's capabilities. I'm sure if you gave Jerry an afternoon, he could probably convince Morgan to do some stuff with him too.
Dude, you all right?
Yeah.
It'd be like a laid back, like, hey, you want to play some games over here? We got like Scrabble, we Connect Four.
Come on, dude. Stop hearing, man.
We just got some cinnamon rolls. We can hang back. Yeah, the color.
I'll make some cobbler for him. Dude. It's a good time.
Gotta make some cookies.
When Carrie Payton does a scene like this, it explains why. It kind of shows why he's the leader, why he's king, other than the fact he has a tiger. So that's kind of a determinant factor as well. But I mean, you really like when he brings about that inspiration in Morgan in the scene. It really sells why he's the leader of the kingdom, why people gather around him, gravitate to him, and accept him as a leader. I mean, he's like the anti-Gregory.
Totally.
Little known
He's got a
fact.
great animation voice. Like that, you could tell whenever he speaks. I'm like, I know that dude does animation.
He does, though. He did. He said on the talking. He's done a lot of voiceover stuff, right?
Yeah, no, he totally has.
Got to.
Little known fact. FDR got his 34 turns because he had a tiger at his side.
It had to be something.
Where is Gregory? Since somebody brought him up.
Well, based off the what last or whatever a couple weeks ago showed us he was on his way to go see Simon about some things, but now that makes no sense because they already knew that Rick was up to no good. So
Right.
what was that purpose for?
I don't know.
The timeline got a little jacked here. I mean, with these time jumps, it's really hard to see where that is and where they are. I mean, obviously you can see it's just when he left. It's probably the next day after he left. So maybe he didn't make it there yet. Who knows? Who knows where
There'll
he
be
is?
there'll be a whole episode next season of what happened to Gregory.
Oh God, can you
It'll turn
imagine?
out he died like stupid, like he, you know.
Can you imagine a whole Gregory episode? Oh my God.
I thought that too.
That's like the greatest thing possible right now. I don't know what you're thinking about.
Sandra Berkeley, all right, yes.
Gregory episode? Oh, not bad.
I'm having flashbacks to the Governor episodes. I'm sorry, those two that we all love so much.
Oh man, that fake beard.
Oh, fake beard.
Fake beard. I'm still traumatized.
Don't throw that under the bus. I can watch the Gregory episode.
Only if Simon's in it though, right? Simon has to be the way.
Oh, that, yeah,
Okay.
had like a musical duet and everything.
He'll get his own spin-off for Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Greg and Simon live Moss.
Gregory
On the road to Hilltop.
to the border.
So after commercial, actually, that'd be pretty funny. Those are the only two survivors of the war. It was like Gregory and Simon. They ended up going off to the sunset together. That would actually be
You remember
really
the comics?
So after commercial, it's daytime now, back in Alexandria. Rick has picked up the junkyard people and led them back to Alexandria. They got the reinforcements, I guess. They're gearing up for war. And some of them actually use a garbage truck as their personnel transport. It's so funny.
Yeah, garbage trucks and BMX bikes on the way.
Yeah, they roll in BMX, and 15 of them pop out of the back of the garbage truck. It's just hilarious.
It's like they're trying to have a Roger Corman 80s post-apocalyptic movie.
So I'm gonna another break
Solar babies.
because I wasn't on when those freaks first showed up.
Yeah.
Has like Kirkman or anybody come out and explain like how in the process of like a year, what is it, maybe 2 years since the world went
Yeah,
to
it's
hell,
about 2 years plus
Like-
right now. Yeah,
how these people just forgot to speak or like
like the same thing. It's
I
funny.
mean,
I know.
Russ, they take. They never bother.
oh my god,
That's
like,
fair.
it
They don't
just,
bother. They take.
if this was Mad Max or if it was 20 years from now or another generation, I'm like, okay, I get it.
Right.
But 2 years, like who changed
Right.
their speech to that?
Let's be honest. They were doing this before the zombie apocalypse started.
Probably.
It was like a TNT group that went way off the rails and got
It
into
was a
it.
LARP that went horribly wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
They were
It's
skater
different.
groups and bike riders.
That's why I say that. 'Cause, well, if in those 80s like post-apocalyptic movies, they always have like a few words they would change, to show that they're in the future. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, practically homeless. Like I can see them being like on the
Yeah,
outskirts
All
of
of
the
that, yeah,
city.
they had to have been because like, if they show their backstory one day and she's like some
See this episode?
yeah
God,
you know,
God, please.
yeah, if it turns out she's like a day trader or something like that, I'm gonna be like what
It's like a flight stewardess.
yeah.
And Flight 462. Yeah, she found out herself.
Yeah, she thought she was like
She had a parachute. She jumped out before it crashed. Yeah,
Just every time they start that nonsense speak, it really takes me out of it. Like I'm just like I don't believe this for 3 seconds.
Yeah, I just think they're just a group of people that were home, like they were street kids and homeless people. I do. Like the guy that
Warriors.
shot
It doesn't not make sense to me.
the guy that shot
makes me feel
the flare gun. He looked like he could pretty well be someone who was homeless, who was living out of a shelter or something. That's what I think when I see them. Like I could see like some of them, I could see them being imbalanced. Some of them being on medications and they've been kind of destitute and and she came in and said, we bring you in. You're part of us. When this thing happened.
So after they unload from the trucks, Jadis is impressed with Alexandria, and she asks Rick, "Is this what he's fighting for?" And he replies, "Well, we're really fighting for each other, not just the town and their belongings." And Jadis then asks Michonne,
I think it's where she's underwhelmed by Alexandria. I think that was the kind of reaction I thought she had. It was like, this is it. Even though she's so used to junkyards, I think she's got
Not as many
a
hubcaps.
Jadis then asks Michonne if Rick is hers, and she's like, "Yeah, we're together." Jadis tells Michonne, "Okay, after I will lay with Rick."
And that look on her face.
Is that gonna be a problem? Michonne's like, "Yeah, we should all get back to work." And Rick's like, "Yeah, we should get back
Did
to
you
work."
notice the look she had first?
Oh, yeah,
Though,
it
before
was-
she said anything?
Did you see the sword on my back? Do you not see that? Like, she
The 1,000-yard stairs being given into the slow back away.
Yeah.
I like her look after. Her look after was like that was worth a shot.
does a little eyebrow raise to the camera. She turns to the camera and goes, "Okay, I tried." Like that.
Then she does like a little dance to the WB theme plays. She dances off screen.
So we see Daryl, Rosita, and Aaron inside of a box truck wiring up the explosives that they found, stripping wires, making bundles of TNT. Kind of a nice little homage to I guess a MacGyver there. They were just kind of setting their whole little explosive thing up. On the road, Negan's gang is stopped by some downed trees, and at this point we can see that Dwight is back with the group. So this is where I got a little confused right here. Did Dwight take the trees down and then drive back to the sanctuary to meet up with Negan, or
That's what I
I'm
said.
assuming, yeah.
did he not even touch the trees? Did Rick's group take the trees down and he just drove home? Like I don't.
No, Dwight said he would do the trees. He did the trees. He apparently he's very efficient at it because he was able to do that at night on his drive back.
Right, so I was thinking, right, okay, yeah.
Well, there was even a scene where they're like looking at the trees and like I wonder what happened here, or who did this? And Dwight kind of gives that look, like not quite at the camera, but kind of off camera.
Yeah,
Like,
it's right there, yeah.
and like the music, there's a little music sting, and you're like, okay, thank you. So
And he's holding his hand at the bottom, waving at the camera, and then
twisting his mustache, and
there's like a Led Zeppelin. He goes, "Ah!" That's right there. This is really comical. I don't know if you guys saw this cut, but I saw a great cut. That was right there.
Yeah, you gotta hear the good one.
like cut.
So Simon is suspicious, but Negan is playing it cool and smiles and saying that, we already have plan B. Eugene then shuffles over, offering to help. He says, "I know a way to slow their jets and cool their roll." I quoted that one.
Both things.
Yeah, cut to Alexandria again. The junkyard people are working side by side with the Alexandria people, kind of arming, and they're preparing together. And here's cool music. Like they're all just kind of arming for war together. And Michonne and I guess this creepy junkyard girl are in the top of one of the homes, using it as a vantage point for sniping. And she's creepy. And she says to Michonne, "We win." And Michonne's like, "Yeah, okay, we're gonna win." that was a little odd.
A little.
I still wonder if they aren't from a mental hospital.
I'm telling you, I think we're going to get a story of this. I'm telling you, I think they're going to be that they were, like homeless, just living on the streets.
So back to Sasha. She's sweating a bit more now, so we can see the timeline progressing, and she's whimpering a bit, and she mutters, "You know what's going to happen and how it's going to end." And again, we flash back to Abraham, who says the same line. He wants to know he dies in his dream, like how he dies. She says it was at the beach. He got pulled under and didn't come back up. That she went in after him, but then she began to drown as well. Abraham scoffs and says he hates the beach. At the end of the day, in the wetsuit, every step you take is like sandblasting your nutsack back to the car. He reassures her that they aren't going to the seaside. It's a simple run. It's a security run. Just gonna chew some road up. Getting some great Abrahamisms in there. Sasha then again tries to convince him to stay behind. That look, Maggie, she can take care of Maggie. Like I want you here. We cut forward. Eugene is escorting Sasha out of the prison block and outside to the truck. He asks her if he reconsidered taking that, quote, allergy medication that he provided. She said yes, and Eugene was relieved, saying that she will eventually adjust to the place, sinus-wise. She disagrees, and Eugene says that, look, if people die here today, it'll be by their choice. He's rationalized this whole thing in his head right now.
Oh yeah.
She agrees with him. She said, yeah.
Yeah, I guess she knew he was going to go. Like, she almost had a feeling he was going to be taken out at this point. Like,
Right.
maybe she was trying to tell him that subtly, but I don't know.
He definitely wasn't picking up on it.
No.
I
gotta say, I like just real quick, I like Eugene's new black trench coat look.
It's dark Eugene.
He looks like a dark janitor, or evil janitor or something.
I forget if you were on the episode, Jim, but yeah, we talked about how it seems like he's doing that very self-consciously. Like, it's like he knows that he's purposely choosing to be bad, and he knows that if he looked at himself, he would recognize himself as the dark version of himself because he's that geeky. I continue to like this take on Eugene because I honestly don't know what he's doing with it. I don't know if he actually really is waiting for a moment to like kind of do something, or if he's completely turned around, even if it's just based on the situation, he'd easily turn back again. Like, there's enough ambiguity right now. I think I can take it anyway.
I can't read him.
I think he's Negan. I think he just feels security with this group. He gravitates to whatever group is going to give him security. I think at this point, he sees Negan as the one that can keep him alive if anybody can. And he's just bought into that whole thing.
He has no choice. I mean, it's not like he's going to be the guy that's going to get away. So it's like I get that he's submitting to Negan, but I can't read if it's a matter of convenience or if he truly just if given the choice, he would choose Negan all the way, no matter what. Like if he had both options available to him, he just chose one of the
Yeah,
other.
that's what you're saying, right?
Or if he's really secretly like, I have means to kill Negan, but I'm going to wait for my right moment because I'm secretly still over it all the way. Like I have no idea what to read from him.
Yeah.
He's trying real hard for someone that's playing both sides. Like he's offering a lot of his services. Let's put it that way. He's not just doing it reluctantly. He's
I wouldn't be surprised if the show doesn't know either.
okay, that would be, yeah.
But I mean, working for Negan like feeds his ego though. He likes to feel important, even though it's all a lie. That's why he took that same tactic when he met Rick in the group the first time.
So because he's smart enough to be able to play that, but he's also cowardly enough to play that. So it's a blind ride.
Well, he probably figures, okay, he's just playing the odds. Like, this is the best play for him now.
Right now, man.
And he knows if things flip the other way, he could always BS his way back into Alexandria and just, basically say, well, Negan, and I was forced, and I didn't have a choice, and, on and on. So he's kind of in a no-lose situation unless he gets killed in the crossfire, but I think he's just playing the odds.
I agree for sure with that because there's no other choice for him. I honestly don't know. Like if like there were two paths and he could walk down the Rick path again or he could walk down the Negan path and nobody's there to influence him, I don't know which one he would take.
Right.
I think he would take the Negan path because he's like the he's like the head honcho. He has he kind of has people listen to him and they believe him. And I think with the Alexandria group, they've come to realize he's a fraud. I mean, yeah, he has some skills and there's things.
I mean, before that, he was about to like start making bullets for them.
Right,
He was taking training to be a better fighter and stuff. Like he wasn't in the same place that he was when he when Abraham and him were still fighting. Like, he was in a better position. As far as,
but he for a guy that's probably been picked on and thought less of his whole life, for him to come into this group and basically just have his run of everything, I think if all things equal, I think he would stay the path he's on. I think he only would make a choice if he felt like because he's a coward at heart that he had no choice but to make a move.
Sure.
And Rosita was treating him pretty crappy, like leading up to this. So it wasn't like whole episode's worth, but there was some lines they had. Like, just get out of my way.
Not like all the other people that she treated like saints.
Right.
Yeah.
Which definitely took it out on him in a lot of ways. I mean,
Well, even Abraham too. I mean, back in the he
Right.
turned on, he lashed out at him too.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Because they're family. I mean, you can make fun of family. You don't let other people make fun of your family.
So flashback again to the Maggie Sasha sunset scene, and Sasha now asks, "Why are we here?" And they're just staring at the sunset. And Maggie replies, "For this." And that's it.
There's so much of this.
Wow. Back at Alexandria, though, the junkyard people are in place, and they're using their turkey calls and everything to kind of signal to each other that, okay, we're ready. Rick is standing at the top of the gate. Eugene is rolling in on the top of one of the Savior's trucks with a megaphone.
Yeah.
And I quoted most of this because it's hilarious. He goes, "All points are covered. Every contingency is already met. I'm coming armed with 2 barrels of truth. A test is upon you, and I'm giving you the cheat sheet." And then he rolls up and he sees Rick and he goes, "Hello. I come salved with the hope that you will heave." He says, "Bottom lining it, you may thrive or you may die. I sincerely hope the former. The jig is up and in full effect."
To back up a step,
Yes.
when Eugene was asking if he could slow their rolls and cool their jets and halt their pulse and do their booze and whatever else he was saying,
Yeah.
was he saying that he was going to go ahead of the group and do that himself, or was he just saying, let me be the speaker in this?
What?
I think he wanted to stop them from fighting back or something.
Well, yeah, but
Talk about it.
well, the way I heard, I thought he meant like because the trees were holding them. Was he like going to go ahead to like get ahead?
Yeah,
of everything?
yeah.
Okay.
Before the fighting starts, maybe I can
Talk him down.
and it won't be a
Well,
thing.
And I thought that was because the trees were going to hold them up, so it'd be like he went like a separate group, and then like the others would meet up. Was that what it was, or was it just him like debating an idea of how to handle this?
I mean, he was part of the convoy. He just kind of took the roof of the lead truck and then was shouting over the megaphone, right? I mean, I don't think they were like that far ahead of Negan. I don't think he was.
That's pretty much that's his idea of being as brave as he can be.
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah.
only asked because I was confused because I thought that his plan was like, well, we can't get all of the trucks over there right now because these trees. So what if I went ahead and became speaker? And I was like, well, that okay. And then Negan and everybody they're already there with him.
Yeah, they popped out like in the truck behind him, so it was like, right there.
the trees were blocking him, like whatever. But okay, all right.
I actually thought he was going to beg to go home because he didn't want to fight. I did. I had to go home.
Rick, take me, please. So Rick is in shock after he sees what he's seeing. He's seeing Eugene basically being a turncoat and speaking now for Negan. And he simply replies, "Where's Negan?" And Eugene puts the megaphone down and says, "I'm Negan." And Rick looks serious, but he's saddened too. You see that little glassy eye, look he has
You
sometimes.
got that look on his face like this mother.
He did a little sad but angry look at the same time, which is kind of hard to do. But Rick had that little look going.
I'm worried about you too. Okay.
But he gives Rosita the little nod, which is a signal
She's
to blow
ready
up
to
the truck, to blow up the truck of explosives right next to Eugene.
Right.
Rosita doesn't even hesitate. She's done with Eugene right now. She had enough of him.
No, I thought she was going to shoot him in the head. I did. I really,
I thought the
I'll
same
just
thing.
in a minute. Let me shoot him first. Yes. So Rosita pushes the button, but nothing happens. And before the Alexandrians can react, all the junkyard people pull their guns on the Alexandrians. Turkey Call Man opens the gate. Negan hops out of his truck. He kind of pats Eugene on the back. Dwight is still with him and kind of eyeballs Rick. Like Rick and Dwight share a look for a minute there. And I guess it was like Dwight saying, I don't know what's going on here. Like, yeah.
It's the same thing.
The same me, right? He's trying to convey that kind of look. Michonne can see that Jadis is holding Rick hostage on that little perch there and says no, but then creepy junkyard girl, also near Michonne, they start their little death match and says, "We win."
CJG.
CJG.
Now, the timing. Now, here's something about the scene that bothered me. Like the timing on this is weird. It's like Carl starts to fight, and they're like actually start fighting or whatever. And I'm sorry.
You're
I'm sorry. I'm a little.
We're still at the ludicrous part where Rick's plan is to blow up a truck.
Right.
That's
I
it,
know.
apparently.
At his front gate, yeah.
And no backup plan. Like,
Sorry. I'm going to talk about the ludicrous part coming up. I'm sorry.
Before we get to all the ludicrousness and all that fun stuff, we have a very, very, very special commercial break.
Oh, wait.
So, Russ, are you sitting down? Are you buckled up? Are you okay, man? Are you good? Okay.
I don't know if my heart can take this.
Chubb, you good?
Everybody?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
We sign their waivers.
grab your seats and eat your meats, guys. It's gonna get heavy right here.
It is time for not only then Fear the Walking Dead #passage unleashed by T-Mobile the Uncarrier, the final episode, brought to you by Mr. Aaron Neworth. Aaron, would you please take us through it?
Guys, the series finale of Fear the Walking Dead #passage unleashed by T-Mobile the Uncarrier was at first I thought it was kind of a letdown, but then upon thinking about the series finale of Fear the Walking Dead #passage unleashed by Team Bumblebee and Carrier, I started to appreciate what Fear the Walking Dead #passage unleashed by Team Bumblebee and Carrier is trying to do. So basically, we pick up where we left off, which is Gabby had just stabbed Colton in like the belly, and he's like leaving him to die. And so Sierra and Gabby are now, they're trying to get the hell out of this passage that they've been in, and they run through this tunnel. They run past one of the guys that's being eaten by a walker, which is like, oh, that's nasty. And they start climbing. Sierra starts climbing up the ladder out of there, and Gabby's falling behind. You get a quick jump because the walker like jumps at her leg, and you kind of think that something happens. Like, nope, it's just like one last scare. Then they both climb out of the tunnel, and they stand out, and it's bright sun on their mountainside, and the two of them, they look at each other, they hold hands, and like, we did it, and that's the end of the season of Fear the Walking Dead #passage unleashed by Team Bumblebee and Carrier. Now, I will say, it's, in terms of things that happen, it's somewhat anticlimactic.
Colton, no!
The previous week's episode, yes, it was a really strong penultimate episode. There was action, really good suspense. But this week, I think if you watch this as a whole, it would probably play really well. Like if you watch it all like within the 14 minutes that it takes to watch this whole thing, right, pretty well.
I did it today, and it does play well. Watching it.
So you watch the whole thing from the first episode right to the end. You watch the whole. Okay.
Yep. I had to get prepared for Aaron's. I do have to ask Aaron though. Now that the season has passed us, who brought it better, Taco Bell or T-Mobile? Who
That's
really
tough.
which half was better?
And who should be the next sponsor?
So the next sponsor should be the Sprint guy that used to be the Verizon guy. Like that should be the sponsor. Just pop in, it's like, hey guys, can you eat me now? And then just like, but no, this whole season, I give the whole passage experience of 4 Busters, guys. I think it was a solid little short film if you add it all up together. Like it worked.
Yeah, I thought it was actually pretty interesting. And I was wondering though at the end when they popped out of the hole, was that the town that maybe the Fear the Walking Dead people were in? That Rosalita, whatever that was, where
That's the impression I got.
I hope it's something that connects to the series. I mean,
Right.
Be involved, just like the girl from the Flight 462 episode was.
because they're in Mexico, obviously.
When they popped out of the passage.
The passage, yes. Well, yeah, they have to
Not
make
the hole.
I'm sorry, excuse me, the hashtag passage. Right, I apologize. I'm using the wrong.
the whole idea was that they're at the border tunnel, the passage that was between.
USA and Mexico.
And then they have like no cell phone signal for the second half.
But they got unleashed by T-Mobile. But the thing is, I'm maybe wondering that maybe Daniel Salazar went into those two. You know what I'm saying? Like we still haven't found out where he is.
True.
So maybe we haven't seen the last of Gabby and
Yeah, the whole first.
Knife Girl. I kept thinking Knife Girl. I'm sorry, you called her.
The whole first half of Fear the Walking Dead will focus on Ruben Blades carrying those two and the woman from Flight 462 in like the back of his truck. Like, hey guys, we're part of the cast now.
Pour one out for Colton tonight, man.
Yes, please do. Listen, Aaron, you did some amazing coverage. Do some of your best work, actually. Thanks, Aaron.
Bravo, Aaron.
Yeah, bravo. We got through it. So the final hashtag passage unleashed by T-Mobile.
Small plot for you.
Yeah, seriously, man, it was some good stuff. And yeah, so I'm gonna watch it. It's a good call out, Joe. I think I should watch it end to end now and take it all in. So after that commercial, Negan approaches the gate and says, "You ever hear the one about this little stupid prick who's named Rick? He thought he knew, but he didn't know, and everyone he gave about got killed."
That was some Negan ass Negan right there.
It was. Yes, it was.
That's right out of the comic too. That's like a word for word like part.
Yep.
Yep, that's about as neat as it gets.
He then tells Rick to tell his people to put their guns down. Rick refuses, says no one drops anything. Rick then looks at Jadis and says, "I thought we had a deal." Jadis, in her strange language, replied that Tamil, what is her name? Whatever her name is. Tamil followed the ones who took the stuff from the boat, and then followed the ones who took the stuff from there. They made a better deal. Ugh. Negan chimes in again. You push me, and you push me, Rick.
Anybody here not see the betrayal of the garbage people coming?
I totally did
thought
not see
next
it.
season.
I
Right?
totally did not see it.
I thought that they would be the problem that they would have next season because they like to take things. So I thought after they do this war or during the war, they would get a little bit too grabby with things, and then that would be the other fight that they would have while they're doing it. I didn't think they would do it this soon.
I figured they'd turn on him, but I didn't think it would be this soon.
Yeah.
I enjoyed their weirdness. I enjoyed their weirdness so much. Where I was like, well, I mean, they could be evil, but at the same time, they seem like they live by a code. So I feel like they respect that code. Obviously, if you make it a better deal, then that's a major factor right there. But I was too into how weird it was that I was like, I'm enjoying this so much. I didn't think about the idea of them betraying Rick.
I was totally surprised too, and my whole thought was they're just there to be, add to the body count of this war. It's really, I thought, the whole purpose for their introduction and being brought into this whole thing. So this was a twist to me.
So Negan is still talking to Rick. He says, "You just tried to blow us up, Rick." He then signals to Dwight and Simon to show Rick the surprise. So Dwight and Simon get on top of the truck.
Wait,
Yes.
because you guys like the way he says it. First he's like, I can understand you wanting to kill me, my men, but Eugene.
He says, he says, he's not saying like Eugene anymore. Okay, but he's still like Sasha, right? He says like that too after he unpackages it. But you're right, it was kind of funny. He says, "Yeah, I don't mind you blowing me up or something like that, but Eugene, yeah." And then they neatly package Sasha. They get her on the little coffin there. He then demands all the guns they managed to scrape up. He wants every last grain of lemonade they've got left. Also, he wants Rick to choose a person to meet their fate with Lucille. He then sees Daryl through the gate, and he says, "Oh, I got to get me my Daryl back." And he goes, "I see you," right to Daryl. Got to give him the little eyeball thing.
Big Avatar fans.
And then finally, he says he wants the pool table with all the cues and the chalk.
Yeah.
That was his list of demands. And if they don't comply, he will kill Sasha. That's the ultimate threat there. And Rick says, "Let me see her." And Negan says, "Okay, Rick, no problem. Hang on a second. Let me just get her up to speed. You can't really hear too much inside one of these coffins."
Is he saying Sasha or just saying like someone you care about or something like that?
I think he said Sasha.
He said Sasha.
Yeah,
He said Sasha.
Okay.
I must say, Craig, your
Yeah.
Rick impression is improving.
Oh, thank you. The deal's done. So Negan says, "Give me a second. I'll have to get her up to speed. Can't hear anything inside those coffins." He then opens the coffin, but it's a quick cut, and you hear the music kind of ramp up for a second. But we cut back to another flashback with Sasha again in the dark, listening to the same song we heard when the show first began. And now she mutters, "It felt real." This time it was her who said the words in the flashback, not Abraham. And she's referring to her dream, of course, where she's afraid of losing him, and the relationship really that had just began. Abraham then finishes up and says, he knows she really didn't mean what she said about Maggie, and he goes on to say, "We lay out our big meaties on a chopping block ahead of someone else's. It's what we do. It's always for someone else." He says that marriage is carrying the future. So that's really the almost the end of that experience with Abraham. We flash to the Eugene escorting Sasha to the truck with a coffin on it. This is back at the sanctuary again. We flash kind of backwards, I guess. He hands her an old school iPod. He said it was chock full. Got it from the store. Not always as selfish as people think here, and gives it to her. Negan offers for her not to ride the coffin. Basically, you don't have to ride this thing all the way. We can just put you in before we get there. And she says, "No, that's okay. I can use the sleep. Just give me a bottle of water."
Done.
How does that not send up a red flag for Negan? I mean, come on.
Bottle of
Why
water.
do you think she's badass?
There's no reason to be suspicious. Yeah.
Oh, she's going to be in a small box for like 8 an hour.
Who in their right mind in any way would want to ride in a dark coffin in that heat?
For 2 hours. It's a 2-hour trip, seems like.
I mean,
Yeah, he said 2 hours. He said 3 hours.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
It makes zero sense.
Well, she didn't have to look at his ugly mug or listen to his constant, yammering.
Maybe it's a really nice coffin. I mean, the outside looked pretty cool.
Pretty
Had
plush.
it?
Yeah, that one shot they had from inside the coffin after they put her in, it looked pretty plush.
Also, as someone that has an old iPod still that I still
I thought you were
use,
gonna say ass coffin.
I have an old coffin sitting around. You know.
he still sleeps in a Warner Herzog Nosferatu copy that I bought. It has an old school iPod. I appreciate that she was rocking an old school iPod.
First generation iPod. Huh?
Wasn't that the same one that Danny Rand had?
I mean, it's like
No, but the one Danny Rand had like the never-ending battery. So.
One thing with this is I didn't think he felt it was weird because look at this world we're in. I mean, all the stuff that's happened to her. They're about to go to this place and kill one of her friends. She said, "I want to sit in this coffin and just sleep." Like I don't think that's something that it sounds too crazy in the crazy situation she's in and the things she's done so far. He had her in a cage. I mean, in a small room, and she didn't really flinch about being in there. So and with a zombie at that, she had to kill a zombie in the dark.
Yeah, rapey Davy.
Yeah.
But Negan is properly impressed with Sasha at this point, and as he's putting her in, even before he puts her in, he says he appreciates what she's doing, what she's going to do, and smiles as he closes the coffin on her and says, "You are something else," and then shuts the door. Like he's still respecting the hell out of her at this point. Like it's just weird, but I understand it. It's just a strange thing, but it's he has a total respect for her. Yeah.